what am I supposed to do when the best part of me was always you? That was my go-to breakup song, and I was just like so sad listening to it.
Yeah.
But I remember there's a part where it's like, even like at a super young age, there's like a part where it says like, I pray to a God that I don't believe in. I'm like, well, every part of this song relates to me except for that. So I just like skip past that part. But it was just kind of interesting.
Praying to a God that I don't believe in.
Yeah. I've cried to that song. Yeah.
Dude, working out is something. I feel like we haven't brought that up really. I mean, mentioned.
Yeah, we haven't.
But
we haven't talked a ton about that on the podcast.
I just feel like
yet.
I have like imposter syndrome. Like, have you heard of that term? Where it's like if you're like doing like a new job or something, like you feel like an imposter.
Oh.
It's like everyone, or like if you're trying to be somebody new and better, you feel like an imposter. But I'm like I feel like I know a lot about working out, and I know more than the average Joe, and I've seen good results in my life. But like part of me is like, you don't have, I don't know, like the authority to talk about it. But I'm like, who cares? Like I'll just give that little disclaimer, like, I am not a doctor.
Trademark pending.
So
just something copyright.
Take my words
with a grain of salt.
No,
I know what I'm talking about.
Like, bro, look at him.
No, I feel that way too sometimes. Like, just because I am like on the skinnier side of things. Like, you know, I've been working out consistently for probably like 2 years now.
Say, like,
almost like 30 minutes
I've been working out
a day at least.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not like ripped by any means. I'm not like super defined or anything. Like, I don't have a six pack yet. You know, a lot of it obviously has to do with eating as well. But like, so like sometimes when I'm talking to like other guys or I'm talking to girls and I'm like, yeah, like I work out, like I know what I'm talking about. But it's like kind of, you feel like an imposter. You feel like you shouldn't be talking about that because you're not as big as the next guy, or you don't have the results that you wish you had. But
one thing I've been like reminding myself more and more of, and actually I guess first learning and now reminding myself more and more of, is like body types play a huge role into how you gain muscle. It's like anyone can gain muscle. I believe anyone can put muscle on. But like, for example, like Sage, he's another guy who works, like him and Tessa go work out every morning. Him and I always talked about it because we would wake up earlier on the mission so we could work out longer. And like, we both are just skinny. Mm-hmm. Like, people would be like, do you guys even do leg day? And we're like, we do leg day like twice a week. Like, we do work out our whole body. But we're the type of guys that get like really lean, defined muscle. Right. And it does get big. Like, you do start to put some mass on, but it's not like the dudes who are, like, I sent you that picture of that guy benching 315, and that was not even near his max. That was him repping like 4 sets of 8 of 315. And
it's like most likely me and you, just because our body types will probably never get to that point. Like, that's just like almost unobtainable. Like, I don't want to say it is, but it's like, just physically, it's like, oh. And
so it's like every body type is different. That's why comparing yourself to others at the gym is completely ridiculous. I almost said redonkulous because it is, man. It's redonkulous. It's like, yeah. It's like,
I remember 10th grade health class. I'm not going to say her name, but like there was a kid in my class. His mom came and substitute taught, and we were talking about body types or something. And like in 10th grade, I was like even more skinny than I am. Like I was a twig, and I've definitely put on a lot of weight, and especially on my arms and my legs a little bit. But like, I remember she looked at me and she was like to the class, she was talking. She like pointed at me like, he's never gonna be a bodybuilder, and she like pointed at me, and I was like, screw you! Like, what do you know?
Oh, right, motivation.
I know, and so like,
at the gym.
I kind of like it would motivate me when I worked out in high school, but like it didn't really like start to affect me in like working out till I like started working out on my mission. I was like, you know what, I think I could like get to a point. But I understand what she was like saying. Like, she wasn't like saying like I can never get buff and strong, but she was just saying I'm never gonna be like those huge,
like Arnold Schwarzenegger arms, or like John Cena arms, or The Rock. It's like, Yeah.
No, but it's still,
But you can
it still
get
motivates
big
me.
arms, you know, and a big chest and big back and big legs. But
I want to see her in like 10 years from now and be like, hey, you remember what you said to me? She probably wouldn't even remember who I am, and I'll just
no.
tell her, and I'll be
She's
like,
who are you?
I'm like, you see, my bicep is literally bigger than your face
You said
right
I
now.
wouldn't be a bodybuilder, and I never forgot it.
And I just won the strongman competition in the western region of St. George. Just like some random, like, because no one else,
like, 3 dudes
no
in
one
it.
else applied for it. Dang.
But yeah, it's true. So like, because I was thinking, so like I worked out at Planet Fitness in high school just because it was like one of the, well, I worked out at my high school. But then when I graduated,
Was
I just,
Logan High's gym nice?
no,
No.
but it had all the equipment. It wasn't like horrible, but it wasn't nice by any means. And it was pretty small, but I would just go after school. And my friend like taught me how to lift. He had been lifting for like 2 years, and he was a sophomore and I was a junior, and he was like pretty bigger than me. So he taught me, and you know, like the first part of working out, or the first, like, honestly, like 3 months, you don't really see a lot of results. But then like after like the first 6 months, I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm starting to see like results. This is cool. But graduated high school, started going to Planet Fitness, and but it's like the no judgment zone. That's what I was getting into. What the? And
I don't think she heard you because she had the headphones
she has
on.
the Bose headphones on.
Not a sponsor yet.
Yeah. Anyways, so then now we're going to Vasa, and there's no like talk about no judgment zone. But I was thinking, I was like, any judgment you feel at the gym, and I understand like this could be taken as like a radical thing to say, but it's like any judgment you feel at the gym is your thoughts of like, people are judging me, you know? And it's like, bro, if you're thinking that, like, oh, I feel so insecure here, people are judging me because I may not be as buff as the next guy, or I may be overweight, losing. It's like, if anything, people who go to the gym a lot think it's cool when I saw a kid the other day wearing like khakis and some t-shirt, and you could tell he was really like nervous and introverted, and he was doing workouts, and I think that's awesome. It's like
a little, it's like you probably will get judged a little bit, like, yeah, but it might be a little weird to wear khakis to the gym, but like you might kind of like laugh it off, but be like, in your heart you're like, that's cool. Like, yeah, I think that, you know, it's
like, I might say something like funny in my mind or to my bro, like, look at that kid, he's wearing khakis, but really we're both like, it's cool that he's here. Like, we would rather, you know. So I don't know why I thought of that.
No, I was going back to what you talked about with like for the first little bit you don't see any progress really. It's kind of interesting, like when I started working out, it was in April, and then you guys joined us in, was it like June? So like I kind of like when we became companions, that's when like I was kind of starting to get into that. But it was interesting, like for those first 3 months, like it's tough, like you're just working out and literally nothing's happening. But it was weird. Like I'd never had this type of mindset before, like in basketball or in working out or running, like nothing really in my life. But I was like, right now, this workout isn't going to make my biceps stronger today, but it's going to or make them bigger today. But in 3 months from now, I'm going to hope and wish that I did. So I'm going to do it today. And so once you've like hit like that 3-4 month mark, you're like, okay, every single time I do it, I know I'm going to get results. And then it just starts to become a whole lot easier. But it's like, that's why like your mom was talking about, like people stop going to the gym, like they start in January and they stop in March, and you're like, no, like you're just about there. Like then it starts to become, you start to see the investment that you've put in yourself.
Yeah,
start
that's literally
to pay
like
off.
the little hump. If they would just get over it, they'd be chilling. I love, because with Cameron we talked a lot about sports,
Right.
And like I love sports, but not as much as like you and Cameron. But I love working out. Like lifting is, I love it so much, and it's the same thing with lifting as with basketball or golf or whatever. But just the amount of like life principles extracted from it is like it's amazing. That's why I love it so much, because that one, like the principle of self-sacrifice, like Jordan Peterson says, you don't get to choose whether or not to make a sacrifice. He's like, no matter what, as a human being, you have to sacrifice something. So you get to choose your sacrifice. And if you make good sacrifices, you get good things back. You know, it's like the law of attraction where you're talking about your investment. So it's like if you're making these good personal sacrifices, and even if it's just a 20-minute workout, sometimes you have to convince your brain that, because there was this one elder on the mission, and he was like, I was talking to him about working out. I was just getting to know him at his own conference. I love the guy, but he was like, he's like, yeah, man, I haven't really worked out my whole mission. He gained like 30 pounds or something. And I was like, why not, man? And he said, well, because we only get 30 minutes. And, you know, I'm not going to work out unless I have like at least an hour, but preferably like an hour and a half where I can just go hard. And I'm like, what? 30 minutes is plenty of time for a good workout. Like I usually me and Riley go to the gym for typically 50 minutes is about how long our workout is, 40 to 50 minutes. But like some days I just hit like a quick 25-minute workout, and I know, and I tell myself this is going to make a difference, even though it may not feel like it.
It's like that all or nothing principle. It's like, well, if I can't, and it's hard to convince yourself to do that because you're like, I know I should be getting in a 50-minute workout today, or I know I should be getting in an hour workout, but just like, it doesn't always happen. But it's like, it's better to do, you know, a 10-minute ab workout than to do nothing, you know? And it's like, everyone has to, you know, here I am, I didn't do an ab workout today, but it's like, everyone everyone has that opportunity, and it's better to do that than to just do nothing. Obviously, like best case scenario, yeah, you get in an hour workout every day, but it just doesn't always happen.
Well, I told you about the book I listened to called How to Be an Imperfectionist.
I don't know if we've talked about that.
I listened to that back like in April, and like I finished it on my road trip, I think. But he
going out or coming back?
Going out.
Oh, okay.
And literally, like, I can sum up the book in a sentence. It's like, make your goals so easy and attainable that you have literally like no excuse not to do them. So his goal before he was learning how to be an imperfectionist, so to speak, was to work out every day. And in his mind, it was like, it has to be 30 minutes. If I can't get a 30-minute workout in, then it doesn't count, and I'm just not going to do it. So it was like the all or none thinking, perfectionist thinking. And then he changed his thinking, and he was like, do one push-up a day. And he's like, I've done push-ups in hotel rooms at 11 at night. I've done a push-up in the bathroom in an airport. He's like, I've done one push-up in weird places because that was my goal, and I had no excuse not to do it. And he's like, now most days I go to the gym for a good hour workout, and it all started with, and so that's the principle, is like, maybe your goals, the reason you're not getting them is because you are demanding too much of yourself. And it's like, there's a healthy balance, because your goals need to be big enough that it does demand something of you, but not too big where it squashes you. Which is like, that's everyone's personal journey. They have to figure that out for themselves. But it's like, make it big enough that it's like, oh, dang. But like not too big where you just get squashed and you're like, screw goals. You know?
Yeah, I think that's something that the adversary is just like, he just hones in on, because like you just look at it from every perspective. Exercising, he's like, well, if you can't, you know, be perfect at it and have an awesome, like, I even find myself doing that. Like, I'll finish a whole workout and be like, well, I mean, was that really like the best workout I could have done? Or like, you know, maybe there's a better exercise I could have done. You know, like, even though I had a really good workout, like, I'm still like, obviously, like, it can always be better, but like, he just is like, well, I mean, you only got in a 20-minute study today. Like, you might as well not do it. Or like, you only said a 5-minute prayer. Like, just like, he's always just like trying to get you to feel bad for the good that you've done, which is so silly. But it's just like, you just see it in so many different aspects of life, and it's like, there's probably a reason for that, because he knows as long as you're doing your part, like, you're going to start to see results. You're going to start to see changes in your life, whether it's working out or spiritual goals. So that, I don't know, I just am coming to a realization right now. It's like, just do what you can, and then like you'll figure it out. Like, I don't know, I just think that I'm having a light bulb moment.
Like just do, even if it's just one tiny thing a day, because like that's what that's how your life is built, is like the small little things. It's funny, it's like last night I said this, but it's like everything that's cliche just so happens to be true. It's like there's a reason people say it a lot. Like the small
I don't want
and
to be
simple things.
cliche, but
Yeah, and I'm like, I do want to be cliche because it's true. Like small and simple things, like that's what creates your results in life. It starts with the tiny little things. It starts with your thoughts. It starts with your tiny habits. What do you say to yourself every day? What do you say to your, your spouse or your close friends or your coworkers every day? Like those things add up.
I'm real nice to my spouse every day.
Gosh.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna say, like, I think to me, I often think about like, what would I rather do? Would I rather, not in like an being negative to myself way, but would I rather look in the mirror and not, be as buff or as strong as I am, or would I rather sacrifice and like push myself to do these, think for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, whatever it might be, and like just trying to, I don't know, maybe this is more of a motivation tactic, but I'm like, I would rather go through the pain of working out than like looking at myself in the mirror and not being like as satisfied. I don't know about you, but like for me, that's a big one. I'm like, I like when my arm fills my whole shirt. Like I'm looking at my bicep right now, and it is very satisfying because I've never been able to do that in my life.
No, it's Tony Robbins, one of like the first nice, bro.
My left, I do extra reps every day with my
Really?
left arm. It's driving me crazy.
It's not
evening. It's a little, it's catching up. I just think it's going to take time.
It'll get there.
Yeah, it's just frustrating.
Mine are, I can do the same amount.
Yeah.
No.
I can lift the same amount. That's what's weird though. Like for like 95% of the time, I can lift the exact same amount with my left arm. It's just not as big. And I mean, I know it's because I'm right hand dominant.
Yeah.
So I try and do a little bit more things left-handed, but it's still like it'll just take time.
Yeah, for sure.
What were you saying before?
Awaken the Giant Within, that book. I've had like this weird COVID. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh boy, we're wearing masks as we were doing this, just in case. I'm just kidding.
That's a freaking lie. Okay, so Awaken the Giant Within. It's a book written by Tony Robbins. It was written a long time ago. It's one of like that was like one of the first self-improvement books I read. And it's like goes way in depth. But in it he teaches that human beings, like every decision we make is he explains it so eloquently, and I haven't read it for over 2 years, so I'm trying to remember how he put it, but he basically says that as a human, you choose the option that's more pleasurable and less painful.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're saying, it's like in your mind, it's more painful to look at a tubby person in the mirror versus the pain of going to the gym. So he's like, there's two pains, and whichever one to you is more painful is the one that you're not going to do. So, but to some people, it might be more painful for them to, like in their mind, it's more painful to go to the gym every day than to just live their life. Like, right. So, and in the book, he teaches how you can like trick your mind, change your mind into being I'm totally slaughtering this. So for example, a cigarette smoker, he's like, most cigarette smokers aren't smoking they know smoking's bad for them.
Right.
But they're addicted, and the thought of quitting is more painful than the thought of continuing to smoke and having the risk of cancer and things like that. And so, for example, he went to this one guy who had been addicted to cigarettes for years, like 30, 40 years. And he wanted to show like this group of psychologists that like he could show results in humans like instantly. So he got this guy, and this guy just tried to quit so many times in the past, couldn't. And he's like, come with me, we're going to the gas station. Goes to the gas station, and he's like, he goes up to the cashier, and he's like, okay, this man wants 6 cartons. Like a carton of cigarettes has so many cigarettes in it. Mm-hmm. He's like, this man wants 6 cartons, buy it. Makes the man spend his money on all these cigarettes, at once, takes him up to his hotel room, and he tells the dude, he's like, okay, open up a pack. And there's like 20 in a pack. So he opens up a pack, and he's like, put all of them in your mouth right now. So the dude puts he fits them in there. I don't know if he gets all 20, but he gets a lot of cigarettes in there, lights them all. And he's like, okay, smoke them all right now. Like just smoke the whole cigarette as fast as you can, like all of them. And the dude's just like coughing and wheezing, and he's like, no, stop. And Tony is like,
he's got
yelling.
The perpetual cough.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I forgot about that. I got a perpetual cough. Did you make that line up?
I think so. And it was like something about me, I'll go off.
Oh, yeah. What the? But Tony's like yelling at him. He's like, finish the freaking cigarettes. And he's like, and he's got tears running down his eyes. And then he finishes them. And he's like, open up another motherfucking pack. And he's like, no, dude. And so he's making him smoke all these cigarettes. And then
you just give him a traumatic experience.
Yeah. What he did was he linked so much pain with smoking that the dude never smoked cigarettes ever again. And it's like, who's to say that would work for everybody?
Right.
But it sounds
some
like
people might just go and just be even worse.
Yeah. But that dude was like, the pain of smoking 20 cigarettes at once and spending money on 6 cartons at once. Like, it was just, it linked into my nervous system that was more painful than quitting. Because before, in his nervous system, it was the thought of quitting was more painful than just continuing. And so it's like, that was the idea, was like, if you're constantly putting something off or whatever, then it's like, you need to make it in your brain. And there's a whole process. Like, you got to read the book to figure it out.
What book is this again?
Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. I recommend it big time. I binge read that book. It's over 500 pages. And I was just like addicted to it. But yeah, he like teaches you how to like rewire your brain to like link more pain to the behaviors that you want to stop. Right. Because then it gets to the point where you're like, you just won't do it because the thought of doing it is so painful.
Need to do that with waking up in the morning. Just get some traumatic experience. I'm done sleeping for.
Well, yeah, it's
just
like,
be done sleeping for forever, and you'll be so productive.
Like, what he would have you do is he would have you. So like, let's say you suck at getting out of bed in the morning, but you want to get up right as your alarm goes off every morning. Then he would have you write down all the pain, everything you can think of that sleeping in gives you. So it's like, oh, well, I'm late. Oh, well, I feel bad about myself. Oh, well, this and that and that, and write all the pain down.
Then make you smoke
it. And
then
meditate on it. Just sulk in how painful all that is. What did you say?
I said, and then make you smoke it. He's like,
all
smoke it. It's like, shoot, I think it's Moses when he comes down and they're all worshiping the golden calf, and he goes and grinds it up, and he's like, eat it. And they're like, yeah,
that's
what
like
the
that
freak?
Hank Smith thing.
Yeah.
He's like, eat it. They're like, eat it.
Eat it. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, and then you link that, and then there's like a creative visualization meditation you would do. You know, in that case, you would visualize yourself waking up in the morning and feeling great and happy, and do that over and over and over again until it's like seared into your nervous system. And then you get up in the morning and you feel great. And obviously you're still going to have the mornings where you're like, I don't want to get up, but it's going to be a lot easier and get a lot easier as time goes on. So anyways, that's your preview for the Awaken the Giant Within. So go freaking read it.
Yeah, I'm curious. I have a motivating thing I wanted to talk about, but I was wondering for you, like, what are some of the things you do to motivate yourself to work out? So like, I'll ask you that, and then I'll share what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about it because someone asked me about it yesterday, but I remembered how impactful it was, and I'm glad they asked me. But I remember, I think it was 12th grade. I was in like a sports psychology class, and my teacher, Miss Park, she was freaking awesome. She let us watch March Madness and everything. But like, she was talking about like how like sometimes it's hard to get yourself to train and to work out and stuff like that. But she was like, you know, when you're training and working out, when your body's telling you to stop, like that feeling of pain, or that feeling of like, this is uncomfortable, or like my legs hurt, or I'm tired. She was like, you need to flip that into, this is the feeling of getting better. This is the feeling of getting stronger. This is the feeling of having more endurance.
So change your thought about it.
Changing your thought. And obviously, like, that's easier said than done. Like, it still hurts. It's still, like, not easy. It doesn't all of a sudden become like, oh my gosh, this is the best feeling ever.
Like, oh, I love it. Yeah.
But it makes it so much easier.
And change your perception on it.
And I'm like, oh, okay, like, this feeling right here, like, when your abs are burning or when you're, like, on the last rep, you're like, this is the feeling of getting better.
Dude, that feeling when your abs are burning and you can't breathe for a few seconds.
And you, like, end the rep and you just, like, have to lay there for a second.
Like,
you're
stretch
about
out.
to
You're like,
die.
I can't breathe.
Yeah. But I was like, to me, like, that helps me so much when I'm working out or, like, especially, like, conditioning and things like that. Is like, this is the feeling of getting better. So that's just been in my mind as we've been talking about a little bit about motivation, is like trying to change your thought process. Like, because there's no, like, easy fix all. Like, it's hard. Sometimes it stinks. Like, working out isn't always the easiest thing, but trying to find any way to make it better, I think, is helpful.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, most days when I'm at work, all I'm thinking about is I want to go to the gym.
Yeah, because you have a lot higher, like, you like working out a whole lot more than me. Like, I enjoy the results. I don't necessarily always love doing it. Yeah,
so, like, I love lifting. But I do have those days, probably, like, I have the days where I want to go to the gym more often than I don't. But I do have the days where I'm like, oh, I don't really want to go to the gym. Like, I would rather, like, I get home from work and I'm like, I'd rather play Minecraft, you know?
Yeah.
We played Minecraft for a long time today.
We did.
I
literally, like, built, like, what, like, haven't even finished.
Carter died, like, 10 times. Not more than that.
I died a lot of
maybe
times.
10.
Yeah.
Side note, one day we want to try to figure out how to, like, screen record our game and as we talk. So it would be like a podcast, but you can watch us craft. Also, we're trying to figure out how to get our podcast on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So,
and also video.
And then the video on YouTube, so you can actually see us. Because right now we're just chilling on my couches at my house.
This would be kind of a fun video, just like chilling.
Anyways, so, like, on those days where I don't want to go to the gym, it's kind of, let me figure out how to explain this well. Like, back in the day, back in my junior year when I started lifting, it would take me... What was that face, bro?
I was holding something in. I'm sorry. I had... Oh, my gosh. I knew you caught me as soon as you saw my face. I was like, I just have to send it.
Oh, my gosh.
I wonder if the mic picked up on
I hope so, dude. Okay, so
we're gonna have to say this definitely isn't for children.
Yeah. Okay. Holy crap. Shoot, dude. So back in junior year, I probably would have had to motivate myself a lot more. But
It's so okay. Oh, I don't know why it makes me laugh so much. It's so funny.
Oh gosh.
I'm good.
Okay.
I can do this.
But now, after like 5 years of after like, bro.
I'm good.
Okay, after like 5 years of like, I can't look at your face, dude.
Should we press pause?
Do you need a break?
Oh my gosh. No.
Oh gosh, my face hurts. Now it's a lot easier because I've.
What are we even talking about? Oh my God.
Talking about how when I don't want to go to the gym, how
now.
Oh. Okay, dude, did you know when you laugh, it's such a painful experience for the body that endorphins are released, and endorphins are a natural painkiller?
Really?
Yeah, that's why because right now I was just like, oh dang, my
your face
abdomen
hurts.
and my face are hurting now. But you don't feel the pain for a while because the
Because of the
endorphins are
endorphins.
suppressing it. But once they start to wear off, which happens fairly quickly, then you're like, oh, laughing actually
Yeah.
hurts. Because think about it, it's your organs getting just around and your face tightening all up.
Your face, like my eyes, like I could tell if I kept going, I would have a headache pretty soon.
Yeah, so it's the same thing with runner's high or working out or sports. You get like this high because endorphins start to kick in because it's a natural painkiller, which is weird. Anyways, now my thoughts are like what you're saying, where the thought of I know I will see results, and even if I go and do like half of an effort of a workout for 30 minutes, it's better than me just staying home. Like I've cemented that thought into my brain like so hard now that when I don't want to go to the gym, I'm like, well, I know, like I honestly know because I've seen the results of it now.
I wasn't even laughing.
But it's like it's easy. It's easier. There's still some days where I don't go. Yeah. But like Joe Rogan says there's only 2 excuses for not working out, 2 valid excuses, and that's you're ill or you're injured. But he's like, other than that, you can work out. You can find something to do. If you're traveling, you can do 10 push-ups in the morning. So there's no excuse. But
I think I'm trying to think, the only thing that I might throw in there is like I don't work out on Sundays usually. I mean, like I don't think I ever really have, like outside of like going on like a hike or something, but like I maybe would throw that in there. It's just like up to you. But like also I think personal relationships, like if it's like it's probably not a super great idea to start sacrificing like personal relationships for working out, but like that's pretty like extreme. But like other than that, it's pretty like you should be able to figure it out.
Yeah, that would be like on the end of like I don't know if you've ever heard of Super Nanny.
Mm-mm.
Dude, it's like this British lady, and she just goes and teaches parents how to handle their kids that like suck at parenting.
They need those parenting books at Barnes and Noble.
Wait, what?
They need those parenting books at Barnes and Noble.
And there was this one lady whose like 2 daughters were psychotic, and she could not handle them, and her husband would get home from work and he would come in, change, and go to the gym for like 2 hours. So it's like in that case, he'd get home from work like at 5:36, come, change, leave, get back around 8:39 and not really help out. And me and Riley were like, dang, like that's low.
It's like wake up earlier. Like there's ways to get around it. Yeah. I just think like, there's times where it's like you're having like a meaningful conversation with someone, or, you have an important event, and it's like, it's okay if I don't work out today. Like
it's not the end of the world. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, I didn't work out today.
Yeah. It's like, we probably could have instead of playing Minecraft, but it's like, that's okay.
Minecraft was lit. Yeah. I did actually
your thumb was, you're going to have a thumb work.
My thumb was hurting, bro. My left thumb. I had Minecraft thumb. But I did do some push-ups today.
You did? Okay, I might need to do some push-ups.
I did like 20.
There you go.
I was getting tired, and I was like, hey. Like Tony Robbins says, he's like, contrary to popular belief, when you're tired, the thing that'll actually wake you up more is movement, not a nap. Not all the time. That's not true all the time.
Usually.
Sometimes a nap is necessary, but like, if you got a sufficient enough, like at the like bare minimum amount of sleep, and you're fine. It's like movement will wake you up more. Chilling will actually make you more tired.
I love when I have to go to the bathroom when I wake up, because it forces me to get out of bed, and then like I go to the bathroom and I'm like, dude, I'm not even tired anymore. Like maybe I should figure out a way to have to pee every time I get up in the morning. Just drink a ton of water before I go to bed. But
dude,
but it's true. Like if you get up and you start moving, like it just makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, it's like, dude, that's like what I do. Right as my alarm goes off, I just get up. And like I'll go say my prayers somewhere else, because it's like if you just allow like 5 seconds, this is at least for me, it's not for everybody, but at least for me, if I just allow like 5 seconds, then all of a sudden it feels impossible to get out of bed. But if I just am like, it goes off and I'm like, oh, it's time to get up, do my thing. And then it's like 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I'm woke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no. I love when I have like a specific reason to get up. Like when you're just hanging out, like it's kind of hard to do that sometimes. But
yeah.
I was wondering, what's one of your favorite working out stories that you've had, or like things that you've accomplished that you're like, that was sweet? Because I think, like, you know, obviously, like, we're not professionals or anything by any means, but it's like we've had cool accomplishments and been able to like see growth. So I guess what's been one of your either like benchmarks or like really cool things that you've been able to accomplish through working out?
Dude.
We got the giggles now.
Yeah, shoot. I'm not even thinking of anything funny.
It doesn't have to be funny. It could just be like, wow, my biceps are bigger than ever before. I don't know. Just
like
something.
That's a trend. Well, as a generic sense, I guess, like when I was a sophomore in high school, like my arms were literally not like twigs, but they were small, and my chest was like virtually non-existent.
Like goes into your chest.
Yeah, like some guys call it a bird chest. I don't know why. Is that right? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyways, because I had a companion who's like, he had zero chest, and one of the people in our area was like, bro, you got a bird chest. And I was like, what is a bird chest?
Probably means something
I thought
bad.
bird chests go out more. Like,
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, like junior year to senior year, my arms got way bigger, and I just thought of another one. But anyways, this year, so when I did door to door, it was like, I would do like little workouts in the morning, like push-ups and crap. But we were burning so many freaking calories all day, and we weren't eating enough to replenish them. And like I actually lost weight, and I'm already skinny, so like me losing weight is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to gain weight. And like my mom said when she saw me, like when she came out to Virginia at the end of the summer, she was like,
yeah, she was like,
Reiss,
you
you're so
look super
freaking skinny. I was like,
But
so I like committed when I started working out again after that job. I was like, I'm gonna do my arms here and there, but I'm gonna hit my chest and back. Like, that's what I'm gonna focus on. And I've seen my chest grow a lot, and it's like, that is so satisfying. And then another thing is, I never had the definition on my quads, where you can see like all the muscles on your quad. And then I got to the bike area on the mission, and my quads like didn't grow like other dudes did, but they like got defined like crazy. And I remember like all of a sudden I felt like it just happened one day. I was like, dang, bro, like I can see all my muscles on my legs. And my goal was right as I saw them, I was like, I have to keep this. Like I can't ever let these go away. Yeah. And so I have, and it's like, that was in Hampton. So that was 2 years and maybe 4 months ago. And like, I can still see it. And like, that was like a goal of mine, was I have to keep that definition on my legs. And in order to do so, I need to do leg day. Cause a lot of dudes, it's like a meme in weightlifting that dudes skip leg day. But it's like, dude, I've grown to love leg day now that I actually have muscle on there. Like I love squatting. I love lunges and Bulgarian split squats. Like leg day is sick. Yeah. Chest day is my favorite though, by far.
No, I have a tough time with leg day. Like I do it and understand the importance, but it's probably not my favorite day. My favorite, I love working out my forearms. I don't know why, but I think it's because it gets the most pumped for me. And it just like feels really cool.
Yeah, like, my forearms get so pumped. It feels like there's like massive, wood in there.
And you can't like move your.
You can't move your hand.
Yeah, and I'm like walking. I'm like, Mom, look at my arms. I can't move them. She's like,
I'm like, yo, Mom, feel it.
Yeah, I'm like, she's like, I felt it last week when you did it. Yeah.
Yeah, come on, it feels cool. It's really hard, Mom. Feel it.
I always take pictures, and people just look through my camera rolls, just my forearms and biceps.
Bro, what about you? Right back at you with that question.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about it. I think. For me, number one was just like, I don't know, like it was cool. Like I remember my senior year, I remember I dunked it for the first time, and then I got injured like the very next day.
Oh.
And I hadn't been able to dunk since. And then I remember like I got into working out on my mission, and like I probably do leg day like once a week. Like we'd say that's probably not the best, but it's better than nothing. And
Yeah,
so
true.
I think just like I'd been consistently working out for a really long time, and I came home and was able to not maybe immediately, but like right now, like especially like I hadn't gone and played basketball for probably like a month or something like that, and I went to the gym like 2 days ago and was just able to like throw it down super easy. And so like it's just like cool to see like
Dang.
the consistency of like, you know, that's something you can measure, is like, you know, being able to, and again, like I'm not even working out my legs as much as I could be. And then like, so like that's just been cool to see, like as I've been consistent with this, like just becoming like like it's weird because like I'm not like necessarily playing any sports super competitively right now, but just becoming a better athlete, like it feels cool. And so I think that's been a cool one, is just to be able to see like me becoming more athletic, because before like I was putting in a lot of work doing basketball drills and stuff like that, but I definitely didn't have the body for it. And now to be able to go and play basketball and be like, even though my skills aren't top notch right now, I can compete at a different level because of the strength that I now have. So I think that's probably been my favorite one, is just being able to like go play basketball and be like, I can like hang with anybody now, because like before I was like, I'm kind of scared to go in the paint because I was like 120 pounds, 6'3", whatever.
I'm gonna get beat down.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably been some of like the coolest ones. Or then just like people like I remember my dad told me one day I was wearing my basketball just tank top after I'd done bicep day, and he's like, dude, imagine if you had those arms in high school. And I just like looked down and I was like, dang, what if I did? Like it was just like kind of that cool moment, be like, I've made a lot of progress. Because like sometimes you look in the mirror and you're like, dang, like I'm actually still kind of skinny, but then there's days you're like, I look freaking huge. And that was just one of those days.
Yeah, and I think like an important thing that I know you and I both believe in is that like the main reason we work out is not for the looks. Is that the right way to say it? Like
that's like a benefit of doing it.
Yeah, that's just like a side effect of working out. But I remember like my wife for working out on the mission was, and still is now, is that muscle gives you more energy than fat. Like it holds more energy. Like I can go longer in the day. I can wake up with a clear mind. Like back in the day when I didn't work out, I'd wake up and I'd have like mind fog in the morning. And then when I started working out consistently, I wake up and morning time is one of my best thinking times. And that's not for everybody. Like some people's, I know yours is better at night.
Mine's like from
which there's actually like
morning to 4 in the morning.
Yeah, there's actually some like science behind that, like night owls and stuff. Like Riley's grandma's 86 and I lived at her house in Hampton, and she would stay up till 1 or 2 every morning. And that's how she's been her whole life. And she's like healthy, but like if I did that, I would be wrecked. Like it's 9:55 and I'm like already sleepy. But so the energy thing, like you have more energy, you wake up, you can go longer in the day. And then the strong mentality. So it's like David Goggins, who, if you don't know who he is, go look him up. But he says, he's like, I don't work out for my body. And he's like insanely lean, ripped. He's just amazing. But he's like, the reason I work out is for my mental strength. And then he's like, the body getting stronger, that's just the side effect of it. And it's a huge benefit. And I include that in my why too. It's like saying like the door-to-door thing. Everyone would pick a why. Like, why are you doing door-to-door sales? Like, write down your whys. And like some of them would get all cheesy, some of the managers, and they'd be like, notice, or like your top one probably isn't money. And I was like, dude, like money's like in my top 5 why I'm doing this. You know, like I want to have better discipline and try something new and learn, but I'm like, I'm trying to make money. So it's like same thing, you know. It's like, yeah, of course I want a healthier, stronger, better looking body, but it's like my number one why is like energy. I just have more energy, more mental energy, more mental clarity, you know.
And I think like it's kind of naive to like, I don't know, like I want people in my life that, not saying like if you don't work out I don't want you in my life, but like the type of people that I'm, want to be around and to be able to associate with. Like, I want them to be healthy. I want to, them to push me to do better. So I understand also it's like, well, I need to be doing that as well. And so like for me, it's like important because I'm like, well, I want to like, I'm specifically talking probably about more like dating, but it's like if I want, my wife to be doing those things, then I need to be doing them too. Or if I want my wife to be good looking, because she works out, then I need to be doing the same thing. But I think that's one of the biggest things that you taught me was like you'd always pray before your shake and say like, please consecrate these, gains to like the work. And I think like, it's silly like to
like
think
we had
about
fun
it, but
doing that, but
it's real. Like you're
we
like,
were
God
serious though. Yeah.
help me to do this so that I can, better do your work. And like, his work looks different obviously now for us, but it's like, it's the principle stays the same, please help me to have energy so that I can, like how not if you can't do this, but like, if your family needs, a project around the house and you're too weak to help them out or whatever, like I want to be able to help my family, or I want to be able to lift a car off of someone if like it comes up, just like cool stuff like that. It's like I want to be ready. So I like that.
No, yeah, for sure. For sure.